Moses anoints the holy altar. Then 12 leaders bring wagons. Now Gershon takes 2 wagons. Next, Merari takes 4 wagons. But Kohath carries everything manually. First, Nahshon brings silver plates. Look, a golden bowl of incense. And Nahshon leads the animals. Next, Nathaniel offers his gifts. Soon, the altar fire roars. Daily, more princes bring offerings. Finally, Ira completes the gifts. Look, the pile of silver. Then many animals are offered. Now Moses enters the tent. See, the mercy seat glows. Finally, God speaks to Moses. Aaron lights the golden lampstand. Then Moses sprinkles cleansing water. Next, Levites shave their hair. Soon Aaron waves them forward. Now families eat the Passover. Look, the cloud covers the tent. Also, the fire glows tonight. Then silver trumpets are hammered. Soon the priests blow signals. Look, the holy cloud rises. First, Nahshon leads the way. Next, the Levites carry the frames. Then Kohath carries golden things. Soon Moses invites his friend. See, the ark leads them. Finally, Moses prays with power. Soon the cloud rests again. The Lord's fire burns the camp. Then they weep for Egypt's food. Look, the manna covers the ground. Now Moses sits in heavy grief. Soon the Spirit touches 70 men, and Eldad and Medad prophesy. Look, quails filled the entire sky. Soon the greedy people fall ill. Now Miriam whispers against Moses. Suddenly the Lord descends in anger. Next, Miriam's skin turns snow white. Soon 12 spies enter Canaan. Look, the valley is very green. Then they cut massive purple grapes. Suddenly a giant's shadow looms. Now the 10 spies fear death. Finally, Caleb speaks with faith. The rebels shout, "Let us go back." But Caleb cries, "The Lord is with us." Suddenly, the crowd lifts heavy stones. Look, the glory of God flashes. Now, Moses begs for their lives. But God decrees 40 wandering years. Instantly, the 10 evil spies die. Yet the rebels attack the hill. Sadly, the enemy chases them down. Later, God gives laws for offerings. Then, one man breaks the Sabbath. So God commands the blue tassel. Lord, you formed the ancient mountains, but we wither like dry grass. Teach us to number our days. Satisfy us with morning mercy. Finally, establish the work of our hands. Korah challenges Moses' holy authority. Then Moses falls in prayer. Now Moses holds a censer. But Dathan refuses to obey. Next, 250 men bring incense. Soon, the earth starts shaking. Suddenly, the ground rips open. Then, divine fire strikes them. Next, Eleazar gathers the bronze. Soon, craftsmen hammer the altar. Now, Aaron runs into danger. Aaron stands to stop death. Next, 12 rods lie waiting. Look, Aaron's rod grows flowers. Then Moses shows the miracle. Now the rod stays hidden. Finally, the people tremble greatly. Aaron sees the holy light. First, they bring best oil. Then salt seals the covenant. Look, a red heifer stands. Soon the fire makes ashes. Now holy water purifies them. Sadly, Miriam is buried here. Now the people cry out. Soon God's glory appears. But Moses speaks in anger. Then Moses strikes the rock. Next, the rock breaks open. Look, the water flows out. Soon they see Edom's road. But Edom blocks the path. Now Aaron climbs Mount Hor. Moses gives Eleazar the robes. Finally, Israel mourns for Aaron. First, Israel defeats the Canaanites. Soon they hate the manna. Suddenly, fiery serpents bite them. Then Moses prays for Israel. Look, Moses hammers the bronze. Now, one look brings healing. Next, clear water springs up. But King Sihon refuses peace. Soon, Israel wins the battle. Look, the giant King Og falls. Now, they possess the land. Then, King Balak fears Israel. Soon, Balaam sees the gold. Suddenly, the angel blocks him. Next, Balaam strikes his donkey. Look, the donkey speaks aloud. Then Balaam sees the angel. Soon the prophet meets Balak. Finally, they see Israel's camp.